Hello everyone, my name is Bob. Today I'm going to share with you my XAI final project that is a knowledge graph visualization of a GraphRAG model. So let's talk about the background first. With increasing demand for transparency and trust in AI decision-making process in healthcare, uh, even though the GraphRAG model, which is an extended version of a traditional RAG, even though this model integrated with a retrieval mechanism and a reasoning process, it is still not inherently not explainable. So, which is not good for users if they want to really understand what's behind the scene. And this is highly related to healthcare. It's a high stake area. Then the objective of this project is to develop a visualization method that allows users to explore models' knowledge graph and perhaps with an interactive knowledge graph and we can query it and have a more interactive play with it. So I developed end-to-end GraphRAG model using LangChain framework together with Neo4j graph database. So in this diagram, so everything is exactly the same compared to traditional RAG, except the database here. In GraphRAG, we use a graph database instead of a vector database. Our objective really is we want to visualize this knowledge graph. Okay, so after building this framework, oh, sorry. Next, in terms of data set, I used the rows from a Wiki Journal Club. Rose is a research paper talking about acute respiratory distress syndrome, known as ARDS. It's one of the obvious condition in critical health care. And in this paper, we have a clinical question which we're going to query to the GraphRAG model. And we also have a bottom line that basically that's the conclusion from this paper, and it is going to be served as a ground truth later comparing with the output from GraphRAG model. Okay, I managed to build knowledge graph of Rose paper stored in Neo4j. This is what the knowledge graph looks like. As we can see, there are many entity nodes, 223 entity nodes, and there are over 500 relationships between the nodes. And then these entities, we have a medical something like a medical conditions, treatment, and documents, diseases. Uh, and now let's look at the performance of our model. So we have our clinical question that are going to query into GraphRAG, and it's asking in ARDS patients, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a medicine. Let's just call it C. Does C improve mortality? The ground truth says no, it's not reduce mortality. In fact, it actually increase weaknesses and cause some adverse cardiovascular events. Our GraphRAG model output also said it has negative effect, so not improve mortality. So this is good because at least our GraphRAG model is giving the output in the same direction as the ground truth. And then if we want to know how GraphRAG model develop the results, we can use the Cipher query, which is uh, the query language used in Graph database in Neo4j. So we can use this Cipher query to put into the knowledge graph, and we would just basically want to see all the nodes that contain information of our ARDS and how does this node construct relationships with the neighboring nodes, and vice versa, how neighboring nodes construct relationship back to a particular node. So in this way, we have a smaller portion from the global knowledge graph. This portion of the knowledge graph actually tells you the entities and the relationship that matters to ARDS. And this is how GraphRAG develop its solution. It's based on all these informations here. So, to sum up, first I developed an end-to-end GraphRAG model using a LangChain framework and Neo4j graph database. We also visualized the knowledge graph, and it is possible to interact with it. So if you open up this on Neo4j, you can drag your mouse and cursor to drag it to view it from different perspective. So it's a good interactive interface for user to really see what's behind the scene. And then lastly, this method increased the transparency and the trustworthiness of the black box model. So thank you very much. I hope you're enjoying it.